And we're live with another episode of the Scandinavian Corner. Breaking news, actually, because as it happens, the host of the corner and the co-host of this spin-off show has got the flu. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, just the simple, common flu. Not corona. Not anything more fancy than the simple, common flu. With me here today, I have my good old buddy and co-host, Patrick. And without further ado, let me ask you the first question here. Maybe an obvious one of that, but let's just get it out of the way at once and for all. How does it feel to have not corona?
Well, kind of like relieved that I don't have to spend 14 days cooped up in the house. Since that's apparently what happens, at least in our countries. What happens if you have corona is that you have to go in self-isolation.
Yeah.
And then you need 2 negative tests before you are able to get back to work or resume your other activities, you know. So yeah, I'm glad of that. Glad that it's not corona.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, like, you were a little shocked there, as I recall, initially, because you thought you actually had it. If I'm correct.
But that's the thing, you know, like all the symptoms of the coronavirus, of COVID-19, matches the symptoms for the regular flu, like fever, chills, energy loss, or being fatigued, and you know, just doing like these regular things. It's becoming harder to walk up the stairs and stuff. All of these things corresponds also with the regular flu. So it is.
Yeah, except for, I think you have shortness of breath, which is because the corona goes in and affects the lungs really badly, and I don't think that's the case with the flu.
No, but it is still, the symptoms are still the same, because, for instance, tonight and last night I woke up with like problem with breathing, not because of my lungs, but because my throat was full of slime. And when your throat is like full of slime, then it builds up and it starts hurting, and you know you wake up and you have a shortness of breath. Now, of course, like you're not going to choke on the slime, because when you swallow, then you swallow the slime down, or at least some of it. But it's still a really nasty feeling to have when you're sick.
I can understand.
So yeah.
I mean, being sick is never bad. I mean, being sick, that's when we are, as humans, down.
Yeah.
And that's when we are beaten.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's obviously always a bad situation to be in. But the difference with the coronavirus is that it spreads much faster. Of course, we all know this by now. But and it really is bad for people with bad lung capacities, and which includes a lot of old people.
Yeah, I'm still
most old people, actually.
I'm still in the black, because how much more dangerous is the coronavirus? Because, for instance, pneumonia is also life-threatening for anybody with poor health or a high age. Like, for instance, Stan Lee, you know, the creator of Marvel, he died of pneumonia, which is a harmless disease to youngins and young folks and healthy folks, but then life-threatening to old people, because apparently, you know, like the antidote for pneumonia is that you get penicillin, right? But the higher you get up in age, then the less effective antibiotics and penicillin gets. So if you get pneumonia at age, say, 85 or 90, then there ain't no drug in the world that's going to help you get up on your feet. Then you either then you either die there in the bed, or you get better.
I just found here that a key difference, as I mentioned before as well. Just wanted to back this up by the World Health, by WHO, where they say the speed of transmission is an important point of difference between the two viruses. Influenza has a shorter median incubation period than the coronavirus. So yeah, it spreads faster than the flu.
Wow, really?
No, wait, what the fuck? No, it says actually influenza spreads faster than COVID.
Yeah,
what?
Because I was just going to question that.
That makes no sense.
Because in the United States alone, there is up to 49 million people that is infected with the regular flu a year.
Yeah.
And
well,
if you take
this
those
confuses
stats,
me too.
if you take those stats compared to the corona, then the regular flu spreads faster.
Yeah.
And we don't really have like a number of it, but I bet that there's still a lot of people dying out there from the regular flu as well. Same with pneumonia, right? But
yeah, pneumonia.
we don't pay any attention to these numbers because pneumonia and the regular
don't
flu
pronounce the P. Don't
and
pronounce
influenza,
the P.
that's nothing new. It's nothing new, right?
Yeah.
But corona is still freaking new out there, so it is. So I don't know. Would I go so far as like saying that corona is trending? Maybe not.
Yeah, I just got that. Now, like, wow, holy.
Right. So like we are here, and like COVID-19 is like trending, and you know what trend it is? It is OMG, folks, it's corona. And this has like people all up there, because man, like I don't dispute that it is dangerous, but you have to be in the category that makes it dangerous. You have to either be old or of poor health, as we have like discussed earlier. Why was Italy the first country in Europe that was so hard hit by corona? Well, for one, it is one of the countries in Europe where it is most common to live at home in a so-called generation estate, meaning that you might have up to like 3 generations living under the same roof. So when the kids come home from the school or kindergarten and have contracted the virus, then granddaddy and grandmommy gets infected and dies. Plus also that in Italy has a shit ton of smokers and people with bad health in general. So I don't see it as such a wonder why it's been hit so hard and why it has so many dead, and nor with the United States of America. Because in the United States of America you have, let's see, about 70-80% rate of the people are maybe not obese, but at least overweight. And the regular American, and you can back this up, folks, by just Googling how much activity does the average American do. You know this without Googling, Troy?
No,
it's really fucking little, because like it came up on my Fitbit app by the way, like one of these days where I wasn't sick and I was walking and did my 15,000 steps, and I got up like a reward being like, hey, congrats, man, you have been 3 times as active today as the average American. So I'm like, what the fuck? The average American walks or does steps equals to a little over a mile or 2 kilometers a day. Wow, America. That's not a hell of a lot. And this is also like included all the other movements you do in the house, like washing dishes, cleaning floors, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So this means that that they are not really that active. There's a shit ton of overweightness. There's a shit ton of bad health. And in addition to this, we have seen the numbers. They're overworked and stressed with their fucking fat nation rhythm of like, you gotta work, you gotta make that money, you gotta make that dough. So no, man, like I'm not surprised at this. And compared to those countries, the Scandinavian countries are like laying really low in mortality rate for the virus.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in Denmark, I just googled it. In Denmark, we haven't even crossed 2,500. So we're at let me just check it here again. We are at 2,384 deaths as of now, today, the 12th of March 2001. That is significantly lower than compared to the United States, where we have 530,000 deaths.
And how many people has been classified as infected in Denmark?
That was 219,000.
Yeah.
That also has a lot to do with that the Danish health system is much better.
That's nearly 5% of all Danes that has contracted the virus at some point.
Yeah, but something interesting that I also figured out about the flu. The flu kills 646,000 people each year. That's based on an estimate from 2020. Well, COVID has already killed 2,630,000.
Yeah, but
so
I mean,
that's
this is
four times. Actually, it's 5 times as much.
But this is what we know about, and also like the statistics is kind of like bummed out because if you have COVID and you go for a walk and you fall down and you snap your neck, your cause of death is not going to be that you broke your neck. Your cause of death is going to be classified by the doctors as you had COVID.
Yeah, but it's the same with the flu. I mean, if you had the flu while you broke your neck or fell down an elevator shaft,
the death cause would not be the flu. No, it wouldn't. But the coronavirus would be the cause if you had corona and you die from anything else but corona. So. I don't know if I have any. I don't know where we could back this up because this I'm not sure of. Okay, I was saying I just sent you a link for the source from Reuters.com, which has done a fact check that 94% of individual with additional causes of death had COVID-19, meaning. That if you read the article, by the way, it is that 94% that has contracted COVID-19 also had underlying health issues. So, so it means that it is simply just, it's difficult to say if it was corona that actually killed them, or if it was the underlying health issue, or if it was a combination of both of them. Most likely it is a combination of both of them, as the human body just can't handle having a serious health issue and being slammed with the coronavirus at the same time, Yeah. But it's which begs the question, like what all the fuss is about. But then again, like I don't know. I don't want to downplay it. I think it just goes to say that the disease isn't like as dangerous as people make it out to be, and you should just if you get it, you should just do what the authorities say. Go in quarantine. Just to curl up, just like you would do with the flu as well.
But don't be scared that you're going to die, because that is simply not the case.
Yeah, man, like it's trending. That's what it is.
And
it's trending.
That's the last thing I want to say on the corona subject in this one, because, like, I don't know, I just don't feel like I have much more to say on it at this particular moment, because there hasn't been so many news apart from the fact that you thought you almost had it.
Yeah. So, all we can conclude with is F the coronavirus.
Yeah. That's for sure.
You know, Israel has now vaccinated their entire population.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. That went fast as F in the beginning there, which is really strange how they can do that. They can do that with such speed.
I think like it's a combination of like a lot of things. For one, Israel is a small country in land area, at least.
But so is Denmark, though.
Yeah, but Israel is about half the size of what Denmark is in land area.
Yeah, but not population.
No, population-wise, it is double. And then they have implemented the military and a bunch of these stations where people can get and become vaccinated. And it's actually on the point where you have corona vaccine tourism, as people are willing to pay nearly like $2,000, because like that's apparently like what it costs on average in Israel and Abu Dhabi and Dubai to get the vaccine shot. Because then you come there, you do the 2 weeks or whatever the hell in the corona hotel or in isolation or something before you can show a negative test. And then you go and you can get the vaccine. However, like I'm not that desperate that I would spend freaking $2,000 on getting vaccinated plus hotels and airfare. Seems like
but I will say though it is better to use the vaccines than them just being thrown out. I mean, we have another example of that here in Denmark where there was just a case with some vaccines up in, I think it was northern Denmark, where there was some people that didn't show up to the vaccine. They had made an appointment, they had booked it, but then they didn't show up, and then the doctors basically stood there with their dicks in their hand and were like, well, we have a vaccine shot ready, but no one to vaccinate, and they will go bad eventually if we don't give this to someone. And
holy
then
shit,
what they did was then they just threw them away, like fucking $2,000 shots or whatever it cost. Went in the trash.
Yeah.
And and then there was another example with people where there was a nurse who also found out of this, that they were going to be thrown away, and then she took justice into her own hand and said, and then just offered it to some homeless dude who passed by and said, hey, do you want this shot? Because we can't use it for the people that were supposed to get it didn't show up. So do you want to get it? Even though she was not allowed to.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like, why let it go to waste?
Yeah,
you know,
but that's the thing. Like, a lot of these, you gotta admire her courage for standing up to the authorities that said, nope, we have to throw it away because they were designated for these people. They didn't show up. They have to be thrown away. That's, you gotta admire the nurse's courage for saying no, I'm just giving it away so that they can be utilized anyway.
Yeah, no, I can see that. Like that, why not get the vaccination shot, right?
Yeah, instead of throwing away vaccines for $2,000. That just doesn't make sense.
You know, like I read in the CNN at some point that in the US you have these vaccine hunters that are getting the shots ahead of schedule by gaming the system.
By what?
They're gaming the system by, you know, like I don't know, like if you could call it gaming the system. It is people that are
gaming?
Huh?
What is gaming the system?
Gaming the system is that you're winning the game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Interesting expression.
But like I don't know if you call it gaming the system. What it is, it's a bunch of people that are hanging outside the vaccination centers in the US and then going dumpster diving for finding some unused vaccination shots. So they can,
I've heard of that. Heard of that.
And I'll send you a link to the source. So you got that backed up.
Yeah.
So you got that backed up by the CNN right there. So you guys know that I'm not just spouting off some BS.
Yeah.
Out there in
CNN
Alabama.
Vaccine hunters are getting their shots. I'll link that in the description.
Yeah.
So you guys can get the sources if you're interested in reading further on this.
Yeah.
Like also, I was seeing here an interesting article on that Pfizer is actually trying to up the prices for their vaccines.
Yeah, man.
That's an article from February 23rd.
I mean, like it's supply and demand. They obviously know that like there's a huge demand for the vaccine.
Yeah, but at the same time, you also gotta consider you gotta consider the situation. I mean, we're in a global pandemic where the rest of the economy is shut down, and where everything is not normal anymore. And then, like, sure they want to make money, but it just seems unethical to make a profit on this. To make a profit on
the pharmaceutical business haven't been ethical or given a shit about humans for decades.
Yeah, that's true.
And
true.
And I can like back that up with that any one of you that live in the US would agree with me that fucking medication in the United States is expensive and treatment at the hospitals are expensive.
But it's still unethical.
It's still unethical because it's these motherfuckers that are jacking up the prices to get paid.
Yeah, and it can't be said enough that these people that are behind this, the CEOs who are owning these companies, are not doing the world a favor. And I will say that I will spout that off from now until the day I die. With the means that I have available, because it is wrong at the end of the day. And I don't care how many times you will say, nope, that's the way it is. But I will still keep saying, nope, it's unethical, motherfucker.
Yeah. And like here's, I was just like finding some source for you guys, so we also can check that out to like see what the fuck we're talking about. For instance, you have this asshole, Martin Shkreli or whatever, who is
pretty well pronounced. Yeah.
Who is the CEO of a company that is producing AIDS medicine and tablets, and was like just like overnight thinking, why should I just take like $5-6 a drug tablet for this AIDS medication when I can take $750? So he jacks up the prices for that to line his own pockets and don't give a shit. Did he think about all the poor people that can't afford this? No. Didn't give a shit.
No.
He didn't give a shit because they're nothing to him. They're like, you either pay or you don't get anything.
Yeah, fucking. It's a crude world, man.
Yeah, man. So like it's also like he founded the company in 2011, and and has like managed to make like $500 million in this time. So like they were like sued and everything, and you know, like his response to an interview was pretty much some bullshit. Like if you're reading the article, let me see if I can find it here.
No, I gotta correct myself. It's not a crude world. A crude.
Yeah.
It's a cruel world. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Because crude is actually not like just Googled the Cambridge dictionary here.
Yeah.
It's crude. The adjective crude is simple and not skillfully done or made. But I would assume that this guy actually knows what he's doing. So
Yeah,
it is crude. No, like it is not crude.
Yeah. It was apparently like Hillary Clinton that started calling him out and other drug makers on Twitter for jacking up the prices on drugs, according to the article. Then Skrellis company raised the price on a drug called Daraprim for AIDS from $13.50 a pill to $750.
Yeah.
And then he becomes the most hated man in the United States. And yeah, and then he said then, like, you know, a couple of days later, said he had heard the outcry and would lower the price of the drug to something more affordable, but he didn't give an exact price, and not like he would like lower it to what it was. Fucking asshole, man.
But I see we're coming up on 30 minutes here, so let's round this off here and give some last remarks on this subject. I think it's fair to say once again, we cannot say this enough, that this COVID situation is, regardless of what we might think of it, it is a situation that has come to stay, at least for a few more months, maybe even 1 or 2 more years. And I don't know what you have more on this.
I just have a quote from a friend of mine, which I wanted to say to you folks. It is, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever has. Meaning that you should never doubt yourself. If you have something you want to do, and just fucking do it. And
how does that relate to the COVID pandemic?
It doesn't. But I don't care about the COVID pandemic anymore, because we've talked about 40 minutes about it.
Alright, man. So that's it for this episode of the Scandinavian Corner, guys. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and all that beautiful jazz. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace out.